Hello YouTube. Good morning. Here we are. We have ourselves a start to another day. Well, gonna be back on the trailer today. I took a day or so away to do some thinking and all that good stuff. Back again for a bit, and yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, like I mentioned in my last vlog there about redesigning the front cupboard area. You know, when you force something to come together and it doesn't come together the way you visioned, then you're never entirely happy with it. So I've decided to take another route, a redesign. After taking a couple of days away to think about things, then I've decided another direction to go. One that should work better, one that will be easier to make, one that should stand up a lot better going down the road. You know, it's not like you're building it to be stationary in your garage or basement. This thing's going to be bouncing down the highway, and if it shakes loose, then you're going to have larger problems than, well, just a pile of wood laying on the floor of the camper. Of course, I've already made a couple of cuts in the trailer itself and drilled or some screw holes in the plywood. However, that's why there's no linoleum down yet, and that's why the holes can be filled in the plywood, and really a little bit of paint touch up and such, and you can almost won't be able to tell that there was ever a mistake or this little bit of a detour ever made. Well, for those that have been on the social media, you'll know what I'm talking about. And well, it really does look presentable. It actually does look fairly good, to be honest with you. I am semi-happy with the way it turned out in terms of if it was a basement or a stationary item. However, like I said, if it's going to be rolling down the road, I'm not 100% sure if something like this would be able to withstand the long haul. You know I framed it out of 2x4s, and that's a little bit heavy in my mind. I should have used 2x2s, or even my original plan of strips of plywood and stuff. However, sometimes those things just don't work out the way you want them to. You try to reevaluate things, you try to cut costs, and do things basically a halfway, half job, and they sometimes come back and well, bite you. So today I've got some brackets that I picked up at the lumberyard, basically down there on the floor. Those are the same brackets that I used in the office, as well as I've used in the garage here for various other things. And I know they do work. I know they do stand up. Now behind this is an aluminum, whatever it would be, 2x2 or so, and behind this is an aluminum wall stud, and basically that strip of plywood is covering up, these row of screws. So if I mounted one of those onto this aluminum wall stud, and then come back to maybe somewhere in there's another aluminum wall stud there, I could mount another one to that and end up with the result that I want. And as for the top, because it has more support under it, I can make the top now out of thinner material than my original thick material that I was going to do, which then again saves more weight as well, so it's sort of a win-win all the way around. And of course there is a couple of 2x4s there that will be probably, you know, tossed or end up in the fire pit, but hey, that's what happens, right? You can't bake a cake or make cookies without, you know, breaking a few eggs and happen to drop one or two on the floor. Sometimes that's the way it goes. In the perfect world, I probably would have, should have took the easy way out and found a cabinet maker or carpenter and paid them, you know, 4 or 5 grand to put an interior in the trailer. However, you know, sometimes you want to try to do things yourself, and sometimes it takes longer than expected, or sometimes it doesn't quite go exactly the way that, well, you were hoping it to go. So that's going to be my project for today, is to tear that all out of there, get everything squared away, back to a clean slate, mark out on the wall where I want the brackets to go, and really measure and drill and put the screws in. Providing the screws don't go through the backside of the steel or tin coming out of the front of the aluminum skin, then well, we'll be good to go. If they do, then we'll have to reevaluate it all the way around, because, well, we just won't think about that. So let's get at her, see how far we get for the day, and around we roll. Well, hello YouTube, here we are. Little bit of an early afternoon update. Well, after some figuring and a little bit of trial and error, I got the brackets and stuff mounted on up. They mounted exactly the way that I thought they should, or wanted them to, which most definitely is a plus. As you see, they are up on the wall now. It looks a little odd, a little bit angle-wise. However, once you put the countertop material on there, run your bolts through, it'll have support where it needs to have support. Like I said, there will be a little bit of an overhang on the front hand side. However, that will come in handy in the future if I choose to ever put doors or drawers or a front face on this here cabinet. Well, just dug out a vintage sheet of 5/8 plywood and gonna run it through the saw. That's what I'm gonna use for my countertop for now. Ideally, I'd like to use a piece of pine or something a little more fancier that would be worth staining, or a guy could stain up. However, for right now, the plywood will work perfectly fine. So I used my pattern that I made, traced her on out, and just about ready to fire up the saw. And it's kind of weird how you end up changing plans and then all of a sudden you have extra material. Some of the material I just bought 2 or 3 days ago, and then now I'll be returning it, but there's no point in keeping it, and if you can return it, then well, you can use that money to fund the next leg of the project. So of course, guys, probably going to take a little bit of a breather here so I'm nice and sharp when it comes time to run the saw. Then dig the old saw out, set everything up, and then make our cuts. So hopefully it all turns out the way I vision it, and around we roll. We come to the end of another day. Well, it was a good day. It was a busy day. Kind of an odd day, but hey, that's kind of the way she works out sometimes. Made some progress on the project. Like I said, sometimes you gotta take a step back or two to move forward when it's not turning out the way you want it to or vision it to be. Sometimes you have to, well, start from scratch. Well, tomorrow I've got several things on the agenda to do. One of the biggest things is to do some yard work and a few things. I have to make a phone call to a guy about a horse, just confirming that everything is good to go. I have an event that is ongoing that has been coming for, I don't know, 8-9 months now, and hopefully the guy's true to his word and holds true, because, well, there's family and people coming that well, it would really, really suck if, you know, he didn't, right? And once that's over and done with, it'll be one more thing done, allowing everybody to have closure in certain items, certain things, and then move on with what they need to, or we need to move on with. It's kind of weird how everything comes back full circle. You know the day's coming, and eventually it gets here, but yet you never thought it was going to happen the way it did. And then you end up going through all paperwork and everything that you went through, making arrangements like you went through for, you know, the future ahead. And it seems so far away in, you know, February, March, you know, when I was knee deep in all of this. However, now the day's here, and it's like, wow, you know, already? But that's the way things go. That's how quickly things turn. Sometimes you got control over things, and sometimes you're just along for the ride. But pretty much, guys, remember, we do have a fan mail box for all your fan mail needs, all your letters, decals, and everything you want to send this way. If you write me a letter, I will write you one back. If you send me a decal, I'll most definitely send you one back as well. But gonna end it all here, and around and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.